We got that club music popping off when we bust up in here. It's like slow club music whenever you first get in there. You know, they haven't got the lights all flashing, everybody wound up yet for like the Nicki Minaj whack.
Yeah. Get a beat going, get a rhythm going, and then
just a little slower. Yeah, then
the lights flash and the bass kicks in. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah, I get you.
All the satanic rituals start to be performed after the lulling of the people in the. You got to be mindful of churches with lots of real fancy music. It's kind of a thing. I mean, most of them have a good message, but some of them can really hide behind some good old music, though, can't they?
Yeah, that is interesting. Hello, William. By the way, hello. We got the different hair going on today.
Yeah, you have the whole opposite of what I've got going on. It's like if I would have taken yours, like you remember the old computer monitors, you could do reverse text where the whole screen was monochrome and you could see the letters. This is what we've got here. We have a
on either side,
1100 right now.
I was thinking the exact same thing. It's like, we are very contrasted in our hair, yet we are united in spirit. Good to see you, William. Good morning. Hello, Jacqueline Edwards. Good to see you.
Howdy. We got Eureka in there too.
Yes, we got the regulars popping over here. AC Cruz is down there. Eureka. I never call her Eureka. It's Carrie. I just can't read backwards. I can't read backwards. I did want to. We'll get to the topic here in a second, but I did want to keep riffing on what you were talking about, churches and their music. Mm-hmm. And so I this past weekend, so May 6th. May 6th was my spiritual birthday. I had my conversion was a Damascus Road conversion, like the Apostle Paul. It was like one day I was a pagan and the next day I was a Christian. It was like an overnight thing. And it was May 6th. So my spiritual birthday just passed. Here we go. I'm 35 years old in the Lord. And I was 18 years old. So do the math. But because, that long, 35 years, I've been to all kinds of churches. I've been members of different denominations. I've even worked at churches of different denominations, from charismatic to Baptist to Presbyterian so the music is such a variety of music within church, and it becomes when you adopt a style, I guess, that is a kind of a current style in the culture. Style comes and goes, and then you go to a church and they're still doing this style. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm getting at. It's like God is so diverse in his creativity that I go to a church now that the music is like, it's like bluegrass, folk, gospel. It's very different. I've never come across it anywhere, and it's really good music. But then I'm also in a band that's like this close to heavy metal, and it's like God is glorified.
Well, okay, all right. Let's heavy metal and church music. There's a group that's been around for years called Clutch.
I haven't heard of them.
What?
Yeah.
You've never heard of it? Oh my gosh! You remember the movie Escape from L.A.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they actually, just to give you an idea how long they've been around, they're part of that soundtrack from that movie, and one of the songs on there is by Clutch. But if you need to start, I'm going to have to send you some more music to get into.
Yeah,
gosh,
you have done
been around since the 80s. Really heavy, deep grooves, simple kind of garage sound, but totally all Christian related topics. And they were able to sneak under that radar for years, and the radio used to play them. Then they realized, wait a minute, these guys believe in God.
Oh,
bring on the Kiss.
These kooks, these kooks believe in God. Yeah.
Yeah. So and you've heard the Switchfoot. You remember those people, right? That's more relevant. But you're actually Clutch would be your era. Really would.
Well,
I'll send you some stuff. But what my whole thing was earlier is like music. Music has a way of, like, if you ever watch a group of people when they've had a few drinks and then the beat starts playing, it's like it tickles a part of the brain that you don't even have to have drinks. You could let's just say you start listening to music. It actually will influence you in certain directions depending upon the message, the sound, the beats. And if you put the playing factor of how music industry has involved a lot of psychologists, a lot of doctors, it's a lot of data that's been gathered up. they're really able to figure out what really does what, like what sounds make people do what type of, in the 80s you had bands like The Cure and other things, and it was like a whole big deal to have this like this real dreary type music, like the band Garbage. You remember that band in the 90s? Remember all that
Mhm.
was just a thing, and people would feed off of that, and they for some reason would just gather towards that negative energy, and would, that would instill people to be this and weak, and then they'd feel victim. I feel so good to be victimized because now I can be, people can care for me. And so that, think about that. And then those people had kids, and then they like, you
Influence them.
but anyway, so as we get completely off topic,
We're going to stay off topic for a second.
yeah.
I mean, we just go where this goes. So,
Right. But
music is. I'll let you finish your thought.
no, I'm good. Go ahead. Yeah, music is. I'm all there. I'm right here.
Designed by God, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and it is.
So like the rainbow, it can be hijacked and used in bad ways.
Well, yeah. I mean, the nature of everything that God created can be used for good or evil,
True.
but music itself, when you are singing, you're doing something God designed you for, and it's a spiritual exercise whenever you're doing it, because sound waves, yes, they can be measured physically, but what happens in your spirit, in particular when you're singing with along with a chorus of other Christians at the top of your lungs, right? If you're belting something out, that is like the eternal moment. So God is eternal, right? He's outside of time. And so when what is happening in the throne room, which means the present throne room right now, that's always there, always happening. It's all of the heavenly hosts are crying out, singing, holy, 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 right? They're singing, and it's loud around the throne room. It is like, we're going through Exodus. Hello, AC Cruz. We're going through the book of Exodus, and God revealed himself on the mountain. Before Moses went up the mountain and got the tablets, God revealed himself to all of the elders, right? This is before Moses goes up. There's this thunder, lightning, and it's these loud trumpet. It says it's loud like trumpets. It's blaring, blasting. Like God is like metal, dude. He is like
Yeah.
just it's a wall of sound in the throne room. Yet we don't have ears to handle it right now, but we will. This is all tangential, but God created us for music. We're going to be worshiping God with music for eternity. Now I'm gonna hand it off to you, and let's hear what's going on with Tucker and Twitter, and when's he coming back? What's the result going to be? I just want to get some fresh William Archibald, off the cuff.
Well, it's a good thing I do soak up a lot of information out there, and and it's neat to watch Tucker's numbers actually larger on Twitter than the actual Fox network he was on. I mean, that right there, people are seeing that. People are seeing that. Like the people that had Tucker, I guarantee you. Oh, I can't name names because of trigger words, but do you know that Elon and Tucker, they had an interview that was going to be a string along in 2 episodes, and it was giving Elon a great chair to sit in and explain what's really going on. That was very scary to the left. I think that was probably more what got him to be canceled than the actual whole January 6th stuff, because that was. By the way, that guy got out of jail. That one video was able to get that guy out of prison. So imagine if he could have got some more of the info out. And we didn't get to see the second interview. And I'm pretty sure that they knew this was going to happen. And it's this being that I don't know how the contract was wrote out between Tucker and Fox News, but they probably never accounted for just a social media platform being this available. So that probably wasn't in his contract, which means he can do stuff on Twitter. Now, he might not make any money at it, but he's still got pretty good money coming in from Fox that he could compensate for. And I'm pretty sure if he threw a thing out there, and you could make with I think he needs to stay away from that to keep his contractual agreement with Fox. He can't do any kind of paid for news organization-y type stuff. But here he is on Twitter just making some 3 and 5 minute videos and just getting millions of views, tens of millions of views, and overnight. And that means that he will be able, I'm pretty sure that this is going to be a big deal because the left loves to hate. So it's going to draw lefties over there just to hate on Tucker. But that just might actually help convince people that what he's saying isn't so far-fetched, especially when you can put 2 and 2 together. So I'm looking real forward to seeing how this goes. And I think he's going to be able to slide right by the contract thing. I don't know. What do you think, Michael?
I said this in one of my short videos on Sweet Home Maricopa yesterday. I think in the discussion that Tucker and Elon had and are having, it's obviously ongoing. I think one of the things that Tucker said that I absolutely certainly came up in the conversation was Tucker saying, "I'm not interested in making money." I think he said, "I don't care how much money." I'm convinced he's very, very wealthy. He comes from wealth, right? He's born
I don't
into
think you have to
wealth.
be wealthy to not to be concerned about money, though. Sometimes your personal convictions make a difference. To me, he doesn't have money. He does have money, though.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's not. He probably said something. I'm not worried about money. It may have just been a throwaway line, but I guarantee that's the case for Elon Musk as well, right? People like I have I won't specify somebody close to me that you run into at holidays, so a relative, obviously, but is on the other side of things, and we don't engage because it gets heated and nobody else likes it
at the dinner table. Yeah,
nobody likes it when this person and I go at it. So we've calmed it down. But in the Elon discussion this past was it Easter? Yeah, I think it was Easter. He's like, "Oh yeah, boy, bad timing for Elon, blah, blah, blah. The value of Twitter like dropped in half. Like that wasn't very smart, blah, blah, blah." So the only real ammunition the haters have on Elon is that Twitter's value dropped in half. And so that means it was bad timing. He blah, 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 blah. That's the only trash. And Elon, in his interview with Tucker that you referenced, he said, "Oh yeah, value dropped in half." And then he said the most important thing: some things are priceless. Some things are priceless. It doesn't matter what the valuation humans give to it. Twitter is free speech. It is the symbol, right? It is the last bastion of free speech. So all the leftists are looking at Twitter going, "Oh, that's now the right-wing radical extremist side of the world," right? And it's like, wait, no, this is the holding the line, right? This is what's it called? The Overton window. You know what the Overton window, right? If you look in time, how political parties move and the Democrats are moving. So what's left and right in this? The Overton window is moving left so that people like Elon Musk, who called them just left of center probably 10 years ago, who were centrists, are now considered far right because everybody's moved extremely left. And so Twitter,
at some point, everybody will be known as far right because at some point you're just like with Dee Snider recently getting canceled because he was like, "Look, I kind of agree with Paul Stanley on this whole thing about the kid." They were like, Dee Snider was like, "Hey, you can use my song. We're not going to take it. Yeah, don't even have to license it. Just take it.
Go ahead."
And gave him pretty much his whole self and said, "Look, I'm with y'all. Get this right here or else." And
but stop cutting up our kids.
That was because he reached a point where he was like, okay, I'm at the point where I can't go any further. They're going to say, "Well, too bad for you," and then now that puts him in the same predicament as us, which means that everything that is free speech is far right, which means eventually even the people on the leftist of lefty land are pretty much going to be far right. This is going to be so sweet.
Did you see I think it was in Chicago or in Illinois, council meeting where it's this African-American woman gets up there who's an activist, on the left. And she's like, she's saying things that the mainstream media calls right-wing extremism. Right. I forget exactly what the issue was, but she's like, "Oh, it's the hotels being full of
This is
foreigners."
In Chicago.
Right, it's in Chicago, and the budget's going to all these newcomers. Like, what about and the things she's saying? Like, wait, I thought that was racist to say that, but she's saying it out loud. It's the left is now saying the things that we've been saying, And then, did you hear about Richard Dreyfuss? You know who Richard Dreyfuss is?
Yes, I can't put the. I remember he was an actor.
Yeah,
Uh,
so I think he was in Close Encounters of the First of the Third Kind. That was like one of his big early movies. So he's a
he's been in a
lefty,
lot of
lefty,
movies.
lefty, 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 and he's
Yes.
ripping on Hollywood for the new standards for winning an Oscar. Right? Literally, they've there's a racial equity standards in Hollywood. And he's like, what? So it's like they're this is all as frustrating as it is for us to see, like on the ground, the specifics of the kid who is has some mental health issues, that is confused about what they are, and they voice that, and somebody hears it and latches onto them and draws them into, now you need to go see this doctor, and now you need to move to Washington to make sure you can follow through on your affirming care. And that's horrific to hear, and that is happening. But in the grand scale, it's good news that the wackos are being exposed. They're exposing themselves, and there's
Yeah.
nothing they can do about it. They're going to keep being wackos, and the majority of the population is going, wow, they're wackos. And more people every day are going, wow, they really are wackos. Every day, more and more people are going, they really are wackos. And they're shrinking. And it feels like they're becoming more rabid, but their power is diminishing. So,
Yeah, and like anything, you back into a corner, it typically lashes out, and that would be what we're seeing now with some of the extreme comments in the media. Gosh, the media! Can you believe the media reported on what happened in Texas with those people getting mowed down? Said it was a
Russian.
yeah. I mean, I don't want to go too far into that because of YouTube's trigger words, but
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was that was terribly not even close to be like if I would have said that, I would have gotten some time out in a heartbeat. I mean, to tell you what.
And Elon didn't, was it Elon or referred to it as a really bad psyop, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. It's a whoa, you know what I'm saying? That wow, can you believe he actually went there? Because he's starting to see, especially whenever you've seen the headshot down picture. You didn't see the face of the dude, but you see a guy that's got some fresh looking, some new work done and all this stuff, and he's supposed to be, yeah, I'm pledging my allegiance to this, and you don't even know you don't know who that. And if you look at the picture of the guy who did this, it's not even the same torso, and
yeah, yeah.
oh my goodness, and
It's
that was.
spinning a narrative, but the left only needs that, because that's
Mhm.
the only thing they'll report on. And so somebody's spitting out that narrative so that the left feels justified. Like those who are true believers on the left, they're losing their minds. They're literally going insane because they're grasping all of the lies. And if you only consume lies, we're not designed to consume lies.
No.
Your wiring, literally your mental, the C fibers in your brain, the connective tissues all are rewired abnormally and unhealthy. And that's why they rage. That's why they're so quickly triggered. And you can't run a society that way. But I want to pick up on what you were saying about Elon on Tucker. And it was supposed to be 2 days, because Tucker on the first day is like, I'm going to give you the full interviews with Elon Musk. And so the first day was the full interview with Elon Musk. And the second day it was, oh, it's snippets. And I'm wondering, since you bring that up, it's something that I've thought about, and I mentioned in a video yesterday, that Tucker for years has been saying, my bosses never tell me what to talk about. I have free reign to talk about whatever topics I want to talk about. And he would say that over and over again. And so then the J6 footage and the Elon Musk interview, that is when it changed. It's when his overseers, his bosses are like, probably chiming in like they never had before. And so that moment, Tucker knew it was coming, right? When that changed in his life, when they started chiming in on his subject matter, he knew it was time. Like, so was Tucker fired? It didn't, they forced him out, but he was expecting it. I mean, listen to his most recent speeches. He was expecting it. So this
Yeah.
wasn't a surprise. As far as the timing of it, maybe he didn't know that that was his last day, but he knew it might be his last week, or it was coming soon. And
Yes.
so I'm with you when he wanted to air the entire interview of Elon, that they encroached. Like, he was supposed to have a week of J6 video footage, and he only had like a day and a half of it. And then same with the Elon. And he had Trump and Elon on in his last week, both of them. And those are the two biggest firebrands, right? Those are the two biggest, targets of the left, and Tucker is giving them a platform, and they think it's a catch-22 for them. They get rid of him, they lose money, but then if they don't get rid of him, they lose money because they get
They tried
sued.
to run. They tried to run the footage of him acting out, and just made it worse. I mean, he was like better. You're like, oh wow, we could actually see Tucker's like us. We cuss a little bit, and we say funny things, and
Yeah,
he's
I had a
human.
feeling.
Yes,
I had a feeling he was really a real guy.
yeah. So that was a. So they were like, and they had to like, they had to pretend like they had to get a cease and desist letters, right? No, you know what I mean? It was like, no, they had to make it look legitimate,
Yeah.
like cease and desist. No, they wanted that done because they were making them look too good. So yeah, this is
Well,
this is a good sign.
do you think, because I heard this, that because of the leaks or whatever, some of the things that were leaked were disclosures in the Dominion lawsuit, that Fox had to disclose things to Dominion, but those were supposed to remain sealed and be returned to Fox after the Dominion lawsuit was settled. And so now Fox is pursuing an investigation into Dominion. And if they find that it was Dominion that leaked it to somebody that leaked it, it negates the $700-800 million suit. It's like, you've already violated the terms of this agreement. We can't. So, I mean,
But well, if I'm not mistaken, this would be a strange play out, because we all know that's how the shares are being bought by the BlackRock and some other companies that have to do with Fox, and the association between the capital D word. The That's we were all like, wow, this had to have been a payout right in their own pocket. But now they're going to do this right here. Is this another one of those things to make it look like it was legitimate suit, so that we don't think it was a payout to a payout, so they can get some of their Fox News people back?
There's so much that we don't know.
Like a dream within a dream within a dream.
So much that we don't know. But, and here's an observation, and I think it'll be Tucker actually that really starts blowing our minds, because I knew that when he was gone, he wasn't going to be gone for long. Because Tucker, like when you're watching Tucker, that's him. It's not him putting on an act. It's not him putting on a show. You listen to his speeches. It's just, that's him getting to be himself. So he's going to expose some stuff. And these kinds of things that we're talking about here, where we think, oh, we'll never know. But Tucker's going to start, just like Elon Musk started releasing all the inside dealings of Twitter to reporters. That's the direction. It's going to be Elon and Tucker just exposing stuff that we're going to hear about.
And they're all like, fact check me, bro. Come on. Fact check me, bro. Because I
you don't want to fact check me, because you're going to dig and you're going to expose more, right? They want to keep it covered. And it's impossible to keep it covered now in the new world that we live in, because of platforms like this. Hallelujah.
Yeah, it's neat. So, and hopefully we won't see what happened in our headline and article of what happened to that journalist or that person speaking at that Warren Buffett meeting, where he pretty much calls out Gates, the Schwabs, and
associated them with
they cut his microphone off, man.
They hauled him out of there.
Microphone off. Then they arrested the guy in front of everybody, and that was actually done by part of the American police section of that area. That was USA police that did that to him. That's just whether or not he'll be able to hold up in any kind of court case. It was a visual to let other people know, hey, if you're going to speak. So why, just like that whole thing we talked about earlier, like, so the left wants to go around and say, well, God doesn't exist. You guys are just so busy praying to this fake thing and following in this fake belief. I'm going to spend every living second I can to keep you from believing that. So why, if that's the case, if he's not real, why do you put so much effort? If these people aren't so bad, why now is the effort to silence anybody that's trying to point that out? Can't you let people say, well, if he's so bad, let's see what it is. And then they'll go, well, okay, I've looked into what you said. Dude man's okay. But if I actually look into what you said, there's a strong possibility dude man might be right. And so same thing goes for God too. If you look into, scientists did that. The scientists got all together and like, we're going to prove God doesn't exist. So we're going to study the universe. We're going to study the earth. We're going to study gravity, and we're going to study air. And then we're going to find out that, whoa, man, we really got to get ahead of this whole God thing, because he really exists. Oh crap. And God's listening.
there's a study that was done. I'm going to reference some study. I don't know where it is. I couldn't direct you to it, blah, blah, blah. But, but I heard it on one of my reliable YouTube sources. I think it was probably Steve Turley or somebody like that, saying that study of atheists, that like 20% of atheists or people that self-identify as atheists are rabid activist, anti-religion. Like they aren't just, I don't believe in God, I'm going to live my life and let you believe your mythical illusion of the invisible man in the sky.
Mhm.
That's not the case. This huge cross section of atheists are rabid activists trying to prove, trying to make an argument that Christianity is detrimental. Christianity harms people. Christianity is responsible for all the evils in the world. That's literally, what they believe, and it's such ignorance of history. I'm gonna slightly correct you on the science side. I mean, what you said does apply to modern day. Like there are scientists out there that actively go, I'm going to disprove God, and a bunch of them become Christians, right? Because they get into the details. But science itself sprung forth from Christianity. If you go historically, all the list of the top names of all the most influential people, people who made the biggest discoveries and made the largest contributions to the scientific endeavor, 99% of them were faithful Bible believing Christians. It's Christianity that encourages us to inspect and examine and discover the universe. It's God's creation. And there's one scientist that says science is essentially thinking God's thoughts after him, right? It's like, this is how God designed things, and he knew it from the get-go, and we're just discovering it now, and it's incredible, right? Scientists keep going like, this is amazing. This is beyond probability. This could not have ever happened. It seems designed. It seems orchestrated. It seems like a supreme intelligence must have had this in mind. That's how scientific literature is just full of that type of language.
So you've heard me talk a little bit about God, and some of the, people like to think God as a person, and which is fine. The mental image of God is long hair, robe, his staff with guiding sheep. But like, in all honesty, I think that we're misconstruing the fact that God is probably the ultimate scientist, mathematician, a builder, a fabricator.
Genius.
And we misconceive our actual size and our significance in what we call our universe. We think our universe is huge. It's just a vast, endless place that you can never reach the other ends of it. But in all honesty, in the right perspective, this 20-ounce bottle right here with my orange juice stuff I've used, imagine that. Imagine we could be in that right there, and God's looking at us like, it's as simple as that. And to give you an example of, like, just think about what a fly goes through. Do you think a fly knows it lives just 2 weeks? No, because of its size and its perception in time, those 2 weeks are probably years, maybe.
All right, we have under a minute. Let's get back to the topic. So, when's Tucker coming back?
Oh, he's already back. He's back.
Well, he said in the video he released yesterday, he said it's going to be the old show. It's not going to say Fox News behind it or anything, but all of his staff, I guarantee you, he's bringing a bunch of his staff
from Half Baked, the movie. Who's coming with me? Who's coming with me?
It's like all of the guests, all those top tier guests, all the staff. He's just like, they're all going to go on Tucker's show, and it's going to feel better. He won't be. I mean, he's not going to be beholden to anyone. He's going to be able to do whatever he wants, and I'm excited. And I think it's going to happen very, very soon. It's coming. All right, last 5 seconds. It's on you.
Thank you very much, Michael. Thank you, Rick, Jacqueline, all the other people out there. You guys are wonderful. Thank you for being here. Thank you, God, for letting us be doing this. Yeah. And lots of love. Peace out, everybody.
Love you, brother. See you the same time next month.